What's up, guys, and welcome to another Ties Talks. This is a series from Snapchat where every single day I pull up, I have a little drink, a little breakfast, and I spit some facts to you guys, because at the end of the day, it's not just about crypto. You've seen, and I'll explain to you, the financial system, how money works, and why we need to use crypto and get good at it and make a lot of money to actually survive. Because right now it's not a matter of making money. You know, the average rent in London is 2.7k, and the minimum wage is only about 35 grand before tax. After that, you're basically left with enough money to just about pay your rent and afford food. And we'll get into the reason behind that later on. But I've decided to move these Ties Talks over to YouTube. I might put it on a different channel. You guys can let me know how you like consuming the content. But it allows me to repurpose these things for reels. Because one thing I've noticed is we've been talking about this for 2 years and documenting the journey and discoveries that we've had. But just on Snapchat, it's not quite doing it, right? We need to be on all platforms to grow. That's what it's like in this day and age. So I appreciate every single one of you guys that came over from my other communities and that came over from Snapchat. And all of you guys that are new here, believe me, I'm going to blow your mind with some real shit and translate it in a language which you might be able to understand. Less complicated, more simplified, with some examples from your real life, the same life that I have experienced. You see, I've experienced coming from Nottingham, growing up in a shit childhood, drinking council pop, gallivanting around the streets, going to the shop van, paying £1, £2 to buy some sweets, and eating BYBITs every single day. I remember waiting to get £20 off my uncle to pay for the electric, just so we could have electric for the week. And now I completely understand some people's position where it feels like there's no avenue to go, there's no knowledge that they can understand, and there's no simple ways to actually step by step get out of the hood. It's all a bit complicated. What do? Drop shipping, social media marketing, trade. People don't know what they're doing. So I'm going to break all of that down in today's episode, and I'm going to go in more and more detail over the thing. I wanted to talk about how to decalcify your pineal gland, because that's the first step to breaking out of the quote-unquote matrix. Decalcifying your pineal gland allows you to increase your melatonin. That's this, melanin, melatonin, it's all connected. It also allows you to be sharper, be set on your circadian rhythm, and spot opportunities. If you've ever been in a rut and you feel tired all the time, you feel like confused or dazed, and you breeze through the week, you don't even realize where the time's gone. That's because your pineal gland is calcified. And it's calcified in the council pop, in the water, in your shower. I remember being in Nottingham, and there was a news article came out, and it said, don't use the water, don't go in the shower for a few days. We've fucked up the fluoride in the water, and stop people from putting in contact with all water for Severn Trent. That takes care of the whole of the East Midlands of the UK. And guess what? People still went, showered, still drunk the water, and still carried on with their life. And they probably kept the levels that high because people actually don't even understand what fluoride is. Well, fluoride actually reduces the amount of melatonin that your pineal gland can take, and it calcifies it. It turns it into a little nugget. Now, I'm going to get into the reason why this is so important, and also the history behind the pineal gland. And if you're religious, the things that you might have actually missed that are trying to be explained to you through religion about your pineal gland, because we've known about this for centuries. Right? This isn't the first civilization that has been on this planet. There has been many, many, many civilizations. In fact, the Yuga from the Hindu religion, which is one of the oldest religions on the planet. In fact, I think it's the oldest religion on the planet, actually says that we've had 50 cycles. So when you look at these Hindu gods, they're supposed to be actually from a different cycle of the planet. And you can clearly see that this planet's been on different cycles. If you look at the precision of the equinox, or if you look at your history, especially if you look at the pyramids was lined up with a different equinox. That's the universal shift. And that clearly shows that there's different civilizations, right? We inherited things like the pyramids. We inherited things like Stonehenge. We don't even know how that even popped up there, right? We just like, I don't know how it came, right? That's literally how a lot of civilizations spawned on this planet and did it. But they figured out a lot of things. And one of the things was pineal gland, right? This thing in your head. Right? So when you look at Jesus Christ and he's got the thorns on his head, right, that's because it's got the, I think there's supposed to be a line of like connections to your brain that looks like a crown of thorns. And then inside of that is your pineal gland. So it sparks, lights all out, right? And what we've seen is that in lower class societies, the food's cheap, the wages are low. So you end up in this position where you can't afford to pay rent and you can only just about afford to live. And what are you going to choose to do? Are you going to choose to cook at home and whip up some food? Or are you going to choose to go for a quick trip to Mackey's? Are you going to choose to go KFC? Are you going to choose to go to get a Tesco meal deal? Right? And what you'll see in all of these foods is there's a very high amount of fluoride, and there's a very high amount of aspartame and other things which long term are not good for you. Next time you go for fast food, look around you and think to yourself, would I swap positions with you? Would I swap positions with these people? They're likely fat, they're likely unhealthy, they're probably not smiling, they don't look like they're being energized by the food. But when you go to a good restaurant, an expensive restaurant with organic food, grass-fed meat, right, and you're enjoying yourself, right? Look at the people around you then and compare that to the people in McDonald's and KFC. You'll see a big shift in people, and that's got nothing to do with health and money. Got nothing to do with these things that we're chasing on this channel, but it has everything to do with your foundations, right? Imagine if you fixed the health that you had, just how smarter, faster, sharper, the better decisions you'd make on the market, just how better you'd be if you just mastered and decalcified your pineal gland. Now, the pineal gland controls the amount of melatonin that goes through your body. And it also is the smallest thing, but it has the biggest impact on the balance of your chemicals, stuff like your circadian rhythm. A lot of times when I get students, the first thing I tell them is reset your circadian rhythm. And that is the time that you wake up, the time that you go sleep, the times that you get hungry. It's that rhythm of your body, the natural rhythm that it's on. And it gets interrupted if you're charged up on fluoride, for example, right? Or if you're charged up on aspartame, right? If you've had a Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Diet Coke, lemonade, all of these things have high amounts of aspartame, right? This is a false sugar. What aspartame does is it tricks the brain into thinking it's sugar. It's a false man-made sugar. But the difference is it can't be digested the same way. So your body naturally thinks that it's taking sugar, right? That's why you get that little buzz off it. But the only thing that people don't keep an eye on is that it doesn't eat the sugar the same way. So it builds up all of these chemicals to consume this sugar, which actually isn't there. And that's what imbalances your body. And that's why a lot of people, when they come off of the junk food, when they come off of all of these things, they're fiending like a crack addict. They're fiending. Because what we don't understand is that naturally all of us are addicts. Naturally, we've been built and we've been addicted to this for a long time. And this is why this channel is so important that you guys tune in every single day, because there's a lot of knowledge and there's a lot of gaps in your knowledge. If you listen to this and you can't keep up, it's clear that there's a lot of gaps in your knowledge, right? And we'll go into depth on all of these topics. I'm kind of, piecing them together, and I'm going to bring it all into one for you, okay? Because all of these sectors, right? All of these sectors, the health sector, the diet sector, right? The actual science and the tests that are being done are all funded by the same companies. They're all funded by BlackRock. Okay, and the reason for that is it allows them to do false studies and false education on each of these sectors and relay to you false marketing. Okay, so when Diet Coke says diet, there's a reason why it says diet, because they hooked everybody in to show you that it's a healthier option than Coca-Cola. So what does that give you? It's called the illusion of choice in marketing. The illusion of choice shows you a choice, but they're both fucked, right? So what do they say? Coca-Cola, Diet Pepsi, but they're both not good for you. They're both not good for your health. But you think that you're taking a healthier dietary option by taking an aspartame-loaded drink that's going to imbalance your sugar levels. It's going to knock you off your circadian rhythm, and it's going to calcify your pineal gland, meaning that you're going to be less sharp, less smart, and you're going to have a less understanding of how to actually take control of your life, which means that you're much easier to plug into a 9-to-5 job. Ultimately, because that's the goal. As long as you plug into the system, you plug in like Neo from the Matrix, that's what the dietary stuff is there for. Okay, and once you pull yourself away from that, you'll go through a huge crash, right? It'll be like withdrawal symptoms, like a drug addict, right? Just the reason when Neo comes out of the Matrix, he pulls the plug out of everything, it's painful, right, to disconnect. But once you've done that, you're a different type of person, right? Because I used to be that type of person. I used to eat pork. I used to go Toby Carvery, smash that. I used to load up on the aspartame drinks. I didn't care, right? Because I was in survival mode. And now if I look at my older self, right? So my younger self, I wouldn't even recognize him. I wouldn't even recognize him. We're two different people, right? And this is the natural cycle that you should be going through. You should be going through cycles of recreating, reinventing yourself, getting better, getting smarter, getting faster, getting stronger, right? Getting more management from your money, taking back control of your life. And you should look at yourself 2 years ago, and you should be a different person. If you're the same person, the same situation, then that is what you got to change, okay? So we've covered a lot of topics today, right? And I'm going to try to keep these Ties Talks a little bit short. But to conclude, you need to learn how to decalcify your pineal gland. Right? And there's many steps to that, like Joe Dispenza meditations, trying to spark your pineal gland and doing all of these fancy things. But the easiest thing that you can do, especially if you're coming from nothing, is you can get yourself off the aspartame, get yourself off the fluoride drinks, right? Get yourself out of the council pot, right? Buy some normal water. Right, careful with the showers. I'm gonna be real with you, right? Because what's in the shower water? Fluoride. What do you do when you have a hot shower? You absorb it through your skin, because your skin is the largest organ in your body, right? So you're also gonna have to just get one of those caps off eBay. There's caps that you can just buy off eBay, put it on, done, right? And go down that rabbit hole, because it's worth going down there. Right? I'll guide you there, right? Because there's a long, long way to go. But that's going to allow you to take control. You're going to have more energy, more focus, right? You're not going to be getting bounced around by the market a lot. You're going to have a more in-depth understanding of the matrix that we're living in, right? And not this cheesy matrix that people keep talking about, right? That's them getting you confused. Again, right? Again, spec ops, all these things. They're putting these things in front of you to make it seem like it's a joke. It's dead serious, okay? And that will help you retake control of your life. And don't ever take that for granted, because the moment you do, this is where all the health issues come in. And we'll get into the health issues in another sector, okay? So I would like to dedicate this first Ties Talks, this first proper Ties Talks, right, which is going to be turned into infinite amount of reels and blasted infinitely around the internet. I'd like to dedicate this to Chaka Bars and Axel Johnson and the Fruits and Roots team. It's crazy because these guys were my first client, like one of my earliest clients in social media marketing. They trusted me. They paid me way more than I deserved. And by doing that, I ended up just having to consume a lot of their content, right, to work on their edits. And they opened my mind years ago, pre-COVID, to all of this stuff that's going on. And that allowed me to learn about the precision of the equinox. It allowed me to go into depth and learn about Egypt, to learn about history, and to learn about religion, and how religion is all about showing us how to come free from these things that I'm talking about, right? How to energize your pineal gland, how to understand the universe. These things that for a lifetime people were trying to gather this knowledge and show us the way so we don't fall again like another civilization. This is the golden age, and this is a lot of knowledge to share with you guys. So I hopefully you enjoyed tuning in with me today. If you did enjoy this episode, please let me know. I won't continue it if people don't like it, right? Because I want to share this knowledge with people that are going to listen. So if you do enjoy it, please just let me know in the comments, like this video, and most importantly, share this with a friend, because I don't charge for this information. I show people how to make money for free. I post loads of free videos, right? And I'm educating you now for free as well to take you away from the matrix. Not a penny is charged, and that's going to help you. So if you do enjoy it, please let me know, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And tomorrow, make sure you tune in, because we're going to be going into more depth on the steps, okay, to increase your melatonin levels, and also a little bit of religious history and the connotations behind why to spark your pineal gland. Take care, everybody. Peace.